Hi everybody, I'm Advik. I am the percussion director here at the Treble Clef Project. Today I will be teaching you how to play something. So first off, an explanation behind why I have a piano here, just because a mallet percussionist starting out will usually have a piano with them. Especially if they're starting out, you can't really expect them to have an actual mallet instrument at home just because it's a little uncommon. But because mallet percussion instruments have the same keyboard system as a piano, I thought it'd be pretty useful teaching you something on here instead, just in the case that you're more familiar with the piano, and I'll try to make it as simple as possible to so that you can easily transfer what I'm about to teach you to whatever mallet instrument you're playing. And so what I'm going to be teaching you is the piano instrumental track for a short film I put out about a month ago called A Lot to Offer. I personally really like that instrumental, even though it's kind of subtle. That film, if you've seen it, is about shameless promo here, but about it's about the words, but I also really like what's going on musically. So I'll be teaching you this because I really like how that instrumental motif sort of came together. Let's start. So the whole thing will kind of stay in the range of about here. I'll just play once through the whole 4-measure sort of repeated phrase that keeps happening, and then I'll go about teaching it to you. So here it goes. So before you freak out, it's really just a chord progression and a melody that's happening, even though it kind of looks like a lot. I'll just break down what's happening in that piece by piece, and I'll just let you know first off that the left hand, I'm kind of just going about it. I'm improvising every time, but I'm kind of staying true to what's happening in the right hand, which is fixed. So what you're kind of going to be doing with your 1 and 2 mallets, or the ones in your left hand, will kind of vary depending on how your artistic expression, and your 3 and 4 mallets, the right hand will stick to a certain melody. So I'll play you the melody, which is in G minor, at that should be that sort of territory, and that's your key. I'll just play the melody at a very slow tempo, and I'll snap at about here, so you can follow along, and I'll count so you know where beat 1 is all the time while I'm playing. So 1, 2, ready, go, 1. And so I'm assuming you guys already sort of know which note is which, and so you can kind of figure it out. I'm assuming you guys are familiar with the piano keyboard. As for what I'm doing with the left hand, it's really just a chord progression that I'm just staying with, and I'm just playing broken sort of chords in respect to that chord progression. So basically I'll just play you the block chords. What that should be G minor for 1 measure, and then you go to E flat major, F major, and back to G minor, and then you end on a nice pretty C major. You can do the first inversion if you'd like, which is E on the bottom, or C over E is the name of the chord. Or you could just stick to a normal C. And the thing So I'll play the chords now to the beat, and since the chords kind of move a little slower and it's like easier to follow, I'll just go at the tempo going at, which is about here. So 1, 2, ready, go. So if you want to play the chords and the melody at the same time, and you're kind of learning, I'll say you try playing the melody and just whenever the chord changes, just sort of change the chord in your left hand. And it's mostly just like the root and the fifth of each chord. So, and that's anyway what you'll kind of be doing something like that when you sort of transition to the mallets, or if you're planning to do that. So I'll just play you the melody on top of sort of the chords sort of going like that, and this is what it should sound like, sort of on the beat. So that's kind of what it should sound like, and what I'll usually do when I'm actually playing it is I'll push down the pedal, so it'll sort of ring, and kind of lift the pedal every time the chord changes, just so there isn't much of a dissonance, and I'll just kind of go explore sort of the chord in the moment. So I'll just go. So if you'll notice, I'll just kind of play both of them, and you can notice what I'm doing in the sort of left hand. So what I tend to do is kind of fill in the empty space created by the melody. So when there's like a space in the melody, I'll usually fill it in with a note in the chord in my left hand. So something sort of like that, and it'll just kind of put the whole thing together, and you kind of get the whole thing. It's not really as complicated as it sounds, so I'll just play you one more time the whole thing to the beat. I might go a little slower, so about here. 1, 2, ready, go. And if you're worried a little bit about how this will sort of switch over to the mallets, just one thing I'll tell you is that when you're playing the melody, don't get too caught up with sort of supporting the chord, because I think the melody is the priority. And just so make sure you sort of find an easy way to sort of stick the melody. Just make that so like if like say my fingers were mallets, sort of like don't try to avoid crossovers like that. Like, and try to sacrifice the bottom chord. Just make sure it's your goal to like get that melody sort of down, and then whenever you can sort of fill in an empty space, you can with one of the bottom mallets, you can sort of hit a note on the bottom chord. So like, that was pretty bad, but bottom line is just don't worry too much about trying to fill in the entire chord. Just maybe like hit a note. So I think I kind of explored everything in the whole thing. I'll just play the whole song kind of at tempo the whole way through, everything involved. So that should just once more, and that should sound like 1, 2, ready, go. So I hope you found this breakdown sort of helpful, and it really just boils down to the melody and how you're harmonizing the melody, and obviously the rhythm. Those are sort of the three, this is kind of a music theory lesson, but those are sort of the three main pillars of music, I'd say, and I've heard. So yeah, when you kind of just break the whole thing down into those three, it will make a piece a lot more approachable. So I'd say, yeah, that's kind of it for this this tutorial. Have fun with it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.